Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. We are unpacking some absolutely massive breaking news today that is literally reshaping the medical landscape. Global pharmaceutical giant Eli Lilly just announced the official launch of a highly anticipated new therapy. It's called Tanstrive, and it's specifically engineered to combat solid tumors. The kicker? They're bringing it directly to the Indian healthcare market. Understanding the mechanics of this rollout, the actual science behind the drug, gives us this fascinating window into the absolute cutting-edge frontier of global oncology.
Eli Lilly's official announcement really sets the stage perfectly here. They stated, "The introduction of Tanstrive in India represents a pivotal moment in our commitment to expanding access to highly targeted, innovative oncology treatments for patients facing complex solid tumors." That statement immediately establishes the gravity of what we're looking at. We aren't just talking about your everyday routine medication update. No, we're unpacking a highly strategic move to introduce advanced, targeted cancer care into a massive, rapidly evolving healthcare ecosystem. For patients and practitioners in India, this signals a seriously crucial expansion of their medical arsenal.
Section 1. The India Launch. Announcement Details.
Now, what's really interesting about these facts is that they are straightforward, sure, but they're incredibly strategic. We have Eli Lilly as the manufacturer bringing their therapy Tanstrive to specifically target solid tumors directly within the Indian market. By looking at these four pillars side by side, we get a crystal clear, neutral view of the scope of this rollout. This isn't some massive, simultaneous global launch, right? It's a highly targeted, regional introduction designed to address very specific localized healthcare needs.
Section 2. Solid Tumors. Understanding the burden. To really grasp why this launch matters so much, we have to talk about what we're actually treating. A solid tumor is essentially an abnormal mass of tissue. Think of it like a rogue, completely unregulated construction project happening inside the body. Fun fact, by the way, the ancient Egyptians actually documented solid tumors on papyrus over 3,000 years ago. But it was only right now that we're truly mastering how to dismantle them at the genetic level. Unlike liquid cancers, things like leukemia that circulate in the blood, solid tumors are localized structural masses. They can develop in major organs like the lungs, the breast, or the colon. And when these structures are malignant, their unchecked growth completely disrupts normal organ function and poses a severe threat to a patient's life.
And that brings us to the sheer scale of the problem. Over 1 million. That number represents the volume of new cancer diagnoses happening every single year in India, and the vast majority of those are solid tumors. To put that into perspective, we are talking about hundreds of thousands of individual people facing complex structural masses that require immediate, aggressive, and highly effective intervention. Emphasizing the staggering figure instantly clarifies exactly why a new, specialized therapeutic option was deemed absolutely necessary for this region. The medical burden is just immense, and the stakes for these patients literally couldn't be higher.
Section 3. What is Tanstrive? Targeted therapy.
So how does it actually work? Well, the mechanism of action for Tanstrive happens in 4 logical steps. First up is biomarker identification. Instead of just attacking everything in sight, Tanstrive acts like a detective, looking for specific genetic signatures that are unique to the tumor. Step 2 is targeted binding. Once it finds those signatures, it attaches itself directly to those rogue cancer cells, acting exactly like a lock and key. Step 3 is pathway inhibition. The drug essentially cuts the communication lines. It's sort of like putting a cellular smartphone on airplane mode, blocking the chemical signals the tumor relies on to grow. Finally, step 4, tumor halting. By starving the cancer cells of these growth signals, it prevents any further replication. It's an incredibly precise, microscopic operation.
And this brilliantly illustrates the massive paradigm shift we are witnessing in modern oncology. Historically, traditional therapies have relied on a really broad application. It was sort of a biological carpet bombing that unfortunately impacts healthy cells too, leading to those severe, widespread systemic side effects we all know about. Contrast that with Tanstrive's approach, highly targeted molecular inhibition. It is the equivalent of a laser-guided intervention. It's designed to attack specific pathways while aiming to leave the surrounding healthy tissue completely undisturbed. It's a distinct, measurable evolution in how we manage the disease.
Section 4. Impact in India. Patient outcomes.
Looking at the logistical facts of this rollout, there are a few key details. First, Eli Lilly has officially secured regulatory approval from Indian health authorities to bring this to market. Second, the targeted demographic isn't just anyone with a tumor. It's specifically for adult oncology patients whose tumors express the precise biomarkers that Tanstrive is engineered to target. And third, regarding availability, this won't just magically appear in every local pharmacy overnight. The data points to a phased rollout, initially prioritizing major metropolitan oncology centers that are fully equipped to conduct the necessary biomarker testing and provide that specialized care.
So, we've got the science, we've got the logistics, but what's the ultimate takeaway here? It's localized access to global innovation. For years, the gap between cutting-edge genomic science developed in global biotech hubs and everyday clinical availability in regional markets has been a huge hurdle. Well, this launch explicitly bridges that gap. It means an eligible patient in India doesn't just read about advanced targeted therapies in some medical journal, they can actually have it prescribed by their local oncologist. It actively changes the landscape of what is possible for regional cancer care.
Section 5. The Future of Care. Broader Implications.
Let's move to and see how this builds a solid foundation for the future. What's really fascinating is that the introduction of Tanstrive does so much more than treat a single patient. First off, it sets a brand new regulatory and clinical precedent for exactly how targeted therapies are approved and distributed in the region. Second, and honestly perhaps most importantly, it acts as a massive catalyst. Because this drug requires precise genetic testing, it effectively forces the local healthcare infrastructure to rapidly improve and expand its biomarker diagnostic capabilities. Lastly, a successful launch of this magnitude signals to global biotech investors that the Indian market is absolutely primed for advanced clinical trials and future investments in specialized medicine.
So, the crucial point is this. We are watching the democratization of precision medicine happen in real time. When advanced therapies like Tanstrive successfully integrate into massive regional markets like India, how will this localized access ultimately elevate and permanently reshape the global standard of care for solid tumor treatment? It's a fascinating question, right? And it's one that researchers, doctors, and patients around the entire world will be watching closely as this rollout unfolds. Thanks for joining me on this explainer, and remember to keep questioning the science shaping our world.